Hello and welcome to this, the 7th part of the Midgar playthrough from Avalanche's Final Fantasy VII playthrough. In the last episode we climbed the plate support and got to the front of the Shinra building. During this episode what we're going to do is we're going to enter the Shinra building, ascend up to the 59th floor, whereby we need to start finding some key items that allow us to get to the top 10 levels of the Shinra building.
If you go through the side entrance you actually get a chance to find an elixir, but that is the only reason for going through the side entrance. So we're going to bust on straight in through to Shinra. And Barrett's saying, you better get out of my way, otherwise I'm going to bust in. Do you think they're avalanche? And here we are. A set of enemies to try and stop us. Obviously I healed before I came in, so I should all be ready to go. And we're going to start off by trying to steal from them. Barrett can attack them and Cloud will use Bolt to call. Now, I'm just going to go through, before I continue any further, Tifa's limit breaks, because I've not actually gone through those in a while. And Tifa's about to get another limit break. Now, like all other limit breaks, you have to kill a certain number of people to get access to the new limit break, but only use the limit break a certain amount of times to get access to the second one of your level. But when Tifa uses her limit break, she gets a set of reels. And what they do is they tell you how much damage it's going to do. So, with Tifa, if you use her limit break and the reel says, okay, then what happens is it casts her limit break. If you use her limit break, and it says yeah, what happens is it does double damage, it's a critical hit. And then if it just says no or miss, it doesn't do anything. So I'm just going to cast Sense now to show you what happens when you cast Sense. So Grenade Combatant level 10, HP, total max, and if there's any weaknesses it's in there. So here I've got a yeah and a yeah. So that'll do double damage for both of her hits. Obviously they already do more than regular damage, so it's like double damage of triple damage if you like. So there you go. But now we've cast Sense, if you have a look, the hit points there briefly showed up. In other words, it tells you how much life you're on before you are required to cast it again. So, a little tip there, use the select button, it gives you a bit more information. Plenty of trains to be done in this area, lots of good enemies, they're all running off. Now if we go into here, we find the logo to Shinra Incorporated, and Turtle Paradise letter number 2. Now you've got two options here, you can either go up to the second floor, we're on the sort of first floor, regular floor if you want, or you can go straight into the lift. Either way it makes no difference. I'm going to go in the lift here I think. Click and go up. Now, Barrett's already obviously told us that above the 60th it's going to be hard, so the lift will take us to the 59th floor. Or, that's the plan anyway. Now, if we'd have gone up to the second floor, walked to the second floor and then had a look around there, all you'll have found is some areas we couldn't explore, and there was a shop which basically tells you about some of the vehicles that Shinra sell, you know, powered by the fuel that they produce. Now, if you'll notice, the lift still says 1, and the reason why is because we don't know what floor we're on. We're going up and down, up and down, up and down, and then want to stop it. Now what happens now is a series of enforced battles as we slowly work our way up. So we're on floor 17, we have a battle. Tifa's on quite low life, so we need to make sure we're healing her as soon as possible. Another chance for Tifa's beat rush and somersault. That was easy enough. Just before we go on to the next battle, I'm just going to cast Cure on Tifa to get her back up to full life. Here we are now on floor 28, we've actually got 11 floors, and we're going to battle. I'll try and fade out little bits of this just to try and speed it up. As we go up, we'll fight steadily harder enemies. This one here, the Mighty Grunt, actually has two forms. You've got to take out his first form before you can fight his second form. In other words, kill the sort of protective armour, if you like. And again, on your game, this monster will have between 500 and 600 life. On my game, probably about the same, actually. 6, going a bit slower. As we go up the floors, just check on the enemies, make sure you're not overexerting yourself. If you're struggling, you've got the restore material which you can cast Cure on. You've also got items you can use. We've got some sword dance enemies here that we're going to have a go against. You'll notice as well, we've been stealing a lot of items called tranquilizers and hypers. What they do is they cure fury and sadness status. I've already briefly gone through what they are in previous videos, so I'm not going to go through that again, but we already know that fury and hyper status you want to try and avoid unless you're doing really sort of specific tasks, in which case one of them might be useful. I'm going to attack the teeth and try and save some magic points. These enemies sword dance tend to be quite good at avoiding straight up attacks, but when you use limit breaks are really hard to avoid. So plenty of damage done by that Tifa. Well done. And onwards we go. You'll notice as well that as we're fighting, we're getting more and more AP and experience. Don't worry if your numbers don't correlate with mine. Like I said, the monsters I'm fighting are slightly tougher. Now you'll notice that 2 of my party members are in fury status. So I've got hypers. I've just stolen some tranquilizers, so I'm going to use my 2 tranquilizers there to get them out of fury status, because that will cause them to take more damage, but also make the limit break grow faster, but I don't want them taking more damage. So floor 45. And now we're against the even stronger enemy. This could be sort of classed as a small boss, if you like. I'll use sense on this monster just so I can show you what he's like. Now, interestingly enough we've stolen an item there called a carbon bangle. Now, as the name would suggest, bangle, it's an accessory. Now, this accessory actually is better than any accessory we've got so far. So if we can find more moth slashers and attack them and get the carbon bangles, that'd be really good. So much so that we don't actually find a carbon bangle until midway through the first disc. So I'm actually going to try and steal a couple more carbon bangles if I can. Like we did when we fought Eligor and got Aerith's striking staff, we're going to do the same thing again here. And we will find some more of those. I don't need to equip it at the moment, because it doesn't give us much more defense, it just gives us more materia slots, which we don't need at the moment. Now, as I come out here, I'm going to equip it quickly onto Cloud just to show you the difference. It has 1 extra slot. Sorry, a lot more defense, I was telling a lie there, and better magic defense. Now, if we'd have opted to come through the secret entrance there, we could have got a free elixir. So Barrett won't let us go down there. Oh wait, he will. He just advises not to go down there. Now, if you have a look here, these sort of staircases, they're set in patterns of 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you down the first one. It doesn't actually give you a hint about what floor you're on. So all you need to know is that there is an elixir that's placed. I'm going to fade out now until we get to the elixir. Right, here we are, guys. We've gone down a few floors and we've found a little item there, an elixir. I'll just quickly show you what it does. It's one of the best items in the game. It actually heals your MP and HP completely, no matter how much you need. Now I've got it, it appears sort of about 2/3 of the way up, give or take. I wouldn't worry too much though if you don't want to go collect it. It's just a bit of a waste of time. You don't fight any battles though when you're up on here. I'm not going to fade out though, because I'm going to quickly tell you what's going to happen next. What's going to happen next is that we have to find a way of getting onto the 60th floor. Now the regular elevators don't take you up any further, so what you need to do is you need to find yourself access to these secret items, these secret key cards, like you have in most businesses. So what we're going to do is we're going to find ourselves our first key card, which will get us onto floor 60, and then from there we have to find various other key cards and ascend up the building. The building has 70 floors, and that will be the end of Midgar, and almost the end of this first part of my playthrough. So once we get out of these stairs, we're going to find a way of obtaining our first keycard by fighting just a group of enemies, really, which are normal people, but they're trained soldiers, so they'll have sort of protective suits on, and they'll be a bit trickier to fight against. So I'm just going to fade out now until I get to that fight. So here we are, just out of the area, and we'll notice that these lifts are guarded because they know we're here, we're intruders. and there's a few of them here, so this will be a tough battle against 3 enemies that are all sort of got their defensive armor. So we're going to use spells the whole time here. Tifa can steal to try and find some items. I'll just cast Sense on them to show you how much life they have. Barrett doing a good job there covering our damage. So the Mighty One, this one's level 12, which is about our level, with 307 life. So lots of hit points. I'm going to cast Steal off another one because I could do with a couple of tranquilizers. Now, if you have a look at that second enemy in the middle row area, he has been paralysed briefly. So now's the chance to sort of put on the damage and try and kill him quickly. And we're going to cast our Bolt All spell, which we get a chance to once per battle. Soon have access to his limit break, which will probably kill one of the enemies near the back. Now, when Barrett uses the cover materia, obviously it works 20% of the time. It does build up his limit gauge as well, remember that, so it can be useful sometimes to get other people building up their limit gauges. So Barrett's going to cast the big shot on the break again. Lots of damage there from that strong blade. Plenty of AP and experience points, and you'll find that they've got a key item, keycard 60. If you want to check what key items you've got, just go to the item menu, press cancel, right, and then this gives you all the sort of special items you've got, and this will allow us to go up to the 60th floor. At the moment we're on the 59th floor, so it only lets us go up one floor if you like, but that does give us a big sort of chance to do stuff now. You've also got the chance to go down to the the first floor, but you'll notice as well the key card doesn't let you go to the 67th or 68th floor. I wonder why that is, a bit spooky. But it also doesn't let you go to the 70th. Now the 70th floor is the top of the building, you can't get there. The 67th and 68th floor, something secret must be going on, so maybe a lot of the employees aren't allowed there. And you'll see that there's an employee who's dozing off, and he's just been told there's a warning on the 60th floor, someone's coming out who's not a Shinra employee. Why is he on the 60th floor? If we quickly move ourselves out of the way, we're here. Now if you speak to the two people here, they're saying your kind don't belong here, unauthorised personnel aren't allowed here, and there's actually nowhere else we can go. So you think, well hang on, we can't go down. What you've got to do is you've got to sneak past the guards. So you've got to be careful here really with what you do. And you've got two choices here. If you fail so many times, it just takes you past the guards anyway. So what I'm going to show you to do is how to get past the guards. It's pretty straightforward really. So you stand here, when the guards are moving you move. And then you've got to stand behind these little yellow pillars. And then once you get to this middle point here, you've got to let the other two come along. So the same principles there, press OK to let them move forward. So when they're turning, you press OK, and you move. Like so. And then once you press it once more, the next person will then come on. So Barrett's now done, we now have to do Tifa. I did do a couple of those a bit early. Here it doesn't matter as much because the people are a bit slower. These guards aren't sort of that alert. The guards just to the right of me, they're a bit more alert. Got to be a bit more sort of quicker on the instructions. So now we get the chance for Cloud again. So we're going to move here, and here, and that's basically it. So there's Cloud done. That first one, you've actually got to preempt when the enemies are going to be moving. You've got to sort of guess just before they move. Because if you don't, you'll actually find that they get caught. So, oh, just got caught there. It's a bit more sort of wary there, you've got to be a bit quicker. You'll also find that when you get caught, you get put into something called a side battle, or an attack from both sides battle. You've got to be wary here, because if they attack your back, it does a lot more damage, so you've just got to be wary of that. Barrett's now down just to 32 hit points. I'm going to cast a Cure with Tifa. That will get him back up to sort of healthy state. Just as a quick friendly warning as well, guys, Barrett here could have covered that attack there from Cloud and would have died. So don't think just because he's on low life he won't cover. Barrett will attempt to cover 20% of the time no matter what state he's in. Cure on Tifa now. I ought to have paired Cure with all, but I prefer to have both all personally. It doesn't matter too much particularly because we're able to recover our magic points a lot of the time. So it's just personal preference really if you have Cure all or bolt all. I prefer bolt all because I prefer dealing damage as opposed to healing damage. It doesn't make any difference at this stage of the game. It'll make a difference later on when you've got enemies that can do a lot more damage. So we've got to do it all over again now. This is sort of one of the sort of errors of the game, if you like, because if you'll notice there's 4 sort of people there. Now after 4 battles it won't ask you to do it anymore. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fade out until we've cleared it. And there we go, Tifa's just cleared it and we'll run along. Now, as we found out because I failed the first time, we would have just a fight. After 4 times you can just walk straight into here. Now you might think, well, this isn't going to help us because as soon as we go up we're going to be on the 61st floor. But coincidentally, if you notice, that door has no sort of open and close function. So we're on the 61st floor and we shouldn't be here. This lady also tells you how to use the elevators freely. So she's obviously trying to sort of tell us something. This lady will later on realise that you know, it's a problem. Now, this is the person we were looking to find. If you click ... you continue. If you click where's Aerith, nothing happens, essentially. He covers his own arse. If you press ... let's say you're the Shinra Incorporation Repair Division. So now you get the keycard 62, which allows you to go up to the next floor. So we're already able to go on to floor 60 and floor 61. If we have a quick look around here, there's not a lot else to do. There's a few people you can talk to, but there's nothing else to do on this floor. That's all you need to do on this floor. Now you've got 2 choices. You can either walk up the stairs or take the lift. I'm going to walk up the stairs because it's to floor 62. Now we're on floor 62. We're going to have sort of a little mini game here. Now, if you walk around here, you'll see there's a load of libraries and a bloke outside. If you talk to the bloke, he's called Hart. And this is the mayor, the deputy mayor. Now if you speak to the mayor here, essentially what he says is, oh, we must be the new people around here. I'm the mayor of Midgar, and everything's run by Shinra. And he lets you have a keycard. So, get on the first try and leave and throw in a special item. Now, this changes every time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you now how to get the items, and then we're going to fade out for this play. He wants to know what the password is, if you like. So what you've got to do is you've got to look at each office. Now this is called the Peace Preservation and Weapon Development Office, and the other ones have all got a title on there. Now one of these books won't be a part of Peace Preservation or Weapon Development. So we're going to go in here, we're going to look at all the books, and we can find 6. There's Plan for New Weapons, Material Production and its Military Uses, Ranks of Weaponry, the Shinra Peacekeeping Law by Heidegger, Modern History of the Space Program, Volume 1, and Economic Report Anti-Shinra Activities. So what you've got to do is you've got to decide which one of those is not a part of peacekeeping or weapon development. Now, this one here, which said, sorry, not that one, the material one here. Now, it has military uses. The material is also, it's a type of weapon, it's a type of sort of magic, if you like. So the one here I would probably suggest is the odd one out, is the Modern History of the Space Program, Volume 1. Now what you do is you look at the letter that corresponds to its number. So it has a number 16 next to it, so let's find the letter 16. So if we count along, the 16th sort of letter is M. And remember that letter M. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find 3 more letters. Once we find the 3 letters, we'll have an anagram of 4 letters. Rearrange the anagram, and that's it. So we've got a space development research library here. Let's have a quick look in here. Macro energy and planet movements. History of the space program. Breakdown of soldier members by class. That probably looks like the odd one out. Results of a failed space mission. The economic reports of the space development program. And rocket space travel. So I would say it's the soldier one. And this one's got a B. So far we've got 2 letters, a B and an M. There's 2 more to find. Now, I already know which one the anagram's going to be, but I'll show you how to find out the last 2. So this one is the Urban Development Research Library. Plate construction Midgar, it's quite urban. New plans for urban planning, that's quite urban. Biological characteristics of the ancient, that sounds an odd one out. Midgar city map, that sounds quite urban. Midgar city map again. And an illustrated guide to city planning. So clearly the one here is going to be the biological characteristics of the ancients, which is a B. So we've had two B's and an M. So I already know that this last one I'm anticipating. So it's the Scientific Research Library. We have a look in here. We've got data on experimental animals living in Midgar, the Genova Project, the ancients and history, file on Dr. Gasp, the biologist, file evolutionary stages in land-dwelling life, and the reactor construction chart. Now, a lot of those were sort of quite sciencey based. So, just doing another quick check, but I already know which stuff I'm looking for. So if we have a look, we're looking for scientific research. Now, reactor construction chart doesn't really fall under that sort of guide, if you like. So we've got 2 B's, an M and an O. Now, don't worry if you can't unscramble those because it gives you a choice. And clearly it's bomb. There we go. So we get a keycard. This is keycard 65, so we've actually got the keycard to the next 3 floors. And you get an elemental material. Now, if you get it on the second try, you get usually an ether or an elixir. It varies sometimes, but it's best to get it on the first try. We get elemental materia. Now, I'll quickly show you what this does, but it's quite easy to explain. It adds an element to the equipped weapon or armour. So if you add it to your armour, it adds resistance to whatever you equip it to. And if you add it to your weapon, it adds attackive sort of capabilities. So I want to have an ice-based attack. So I'm going to pair ice with elemental. But wait, that's on my armour, so it's going to give me an armour-based, in other words, a resistance. Now, if I quickly show you status now, cloud, it'll say element, halve, ice. So in other words, I will halve all ice damage now. But what I don't want to do is I want to make it an attackive one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move ice and that off, put it there, put the lightning next to the all and the sense there. So now if I go to status, it will say I can attack with ice. So all my attacks now will be ice-based, which is just handy, a bit different if you like. So, we now have access to floor 65. I'll just show you the key item. So, now on floor 65, what we can do is we can explore a lot more, and we can sort of have a look around, as well as look at how to solve some more of the puzzles in the Shinra building. Okay guys, so, floor 63. Floor 63 is a bit of a rest floor, really. It's a chance to play a little mini-game to win some items. If you click on this machine here, it says that you're allowed, as a level B employee, to open 3 doors. And if you find an item coupon, you can get an item. So if you press coupon change, you don't have any coupons. Now, you don't yet know what the coupons give you. If you press all clear, it then allows you to start again. So I'm going to show you, there's only one way to do this, to get all 3 items. You can see the items, they're all sort of running around. So what you need to do is you go up to the top and you open up the first floor at the top, this one here. You then go all the way along to this door here and open up this door. So you've already opened up 2 doors and you've not got any items. So now we're going to get our first item. And you're going to enter an air duct. And you shouldn't really enter these, but who cares? So now what we're going to do is we're going to come along here, go to our little checkpoint and go down the air duct. So we've opened up 2 doors and got 1 item. Now, there's a total of 3 items on this floor, and you need to use all 3 of your opening sort of abilities, if you like, to get all 3 items. So when you get to this junction here, it sometimes sort of gives you a bit of a problem there, but just make sure you're going forwards. You go down this end up here, you get your second item, and then to here, and you get your third item. Now you have all 3 items, you simply go back. Now you've got 2 choices. You can either go back the way you came, or you can go to where the machine is. If you have a look on the right here, this is where we started. Go straight on the head up. It's a quick shortcut, so we're going to do that. So here we are, we go down here, and we exchange our coupons. And it'll just show you that there are only 3 coupons to exchange. So if you've got an A coupon, a B coupon, a C coupon, you get 4 slots, all materia and star pendant. And once you've exchanged coupons, that's the end of it. So you literally have 1 chance this, so only do it once you've got all 3. So now I'm going to show you what we've just obtained. So the first thing we've obtained is something called 4 slots. Here it is. It's a very poor piece of armour that resists physical damage very badly. But it gives you a bit better magic defense, but it gives you 4 slots of magic. Now, I'm not going to equip it yet, because if you have a look, I've actually got no sort of space to equip anything. But I've also got a piece of materia. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to equip it temporarily until I find another carbon bangle, because I'd rather have a carbon bangle. So I'm going to equip it on Barrett. I'm then going to move this lightning spell and swap it with an all materia, and I'm going to put the lightning spell back on. So now we've got an ice all spell, and we have a lightning all spell. Here. That's ice elemental, and this is lightning all. So now we've got 2 all spells that we can cast, and we even have space for 1 more piece of materia, should we find one. Now, that's 2 of the items. The third item we've got was something called the star pendant, and it's our first accessory. And what it does is it stops you from getting poisoned. So if I equip that on Tifa, I'll show you quickly how to check what's going on there. It defends against the effect poison. Now, some of those effects there are positive effects and some are negative. Don't worry about it too much. What it means is that if someone casts poison on it, it won't work. That's essentially it. So, that's all you've got to do on floor 63. So we can actually go straight up to floor 64 now. Now, floor 64 is a bit like floor 63, it's a bit of an R&R floor. What you need to do is go to floor 65. So, this floor here is just designed to sort of just give you a bit of a breather. There's a gym here you can go to, you can get some sort of protein shake. It doesn't do anything for the game. You've got a toilet there that you can't use, and you've also got a locker room here. Now, this is really important. If you explore the locker room, you get a phoenix down, an ether, and you'll find a locker here that's got a megaphone in it, and it says that hanging onto it won't do it any good. Quick spoiler alert there, that megaphone is a brilliant item, but you don't yet think you need it. So it's a little mini spoiler for you there. I'll let you sort of hang on to that for the time being, but it's actually a really, really, really good item. A lot of people forget about it. So just a sort of quick heads up for that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this room here and make a quick save, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some rest for free as well.
Cheers guys, that was all for this, the 7th part of the Midgar playthrough from Avalanche's Final Fantasy VII playthrough. We've completed the first sort of half of the secret tiers in the Shinra building, sort of tiers 59 to 65. We've spoken with the mayor, we've got some secret key cards, and now we've just completed a floor whereby we've got some nice new items to equip onto our characters. In the next episode we're going to be doing a lot more boss battling, expect a huge amount more battles to be fought, and also we're going to meet back up with Aerith.